All right, my new IFAK is finally in. All right, can put this on my battle belt. It'll be great. And I'll just shove it all in here. I'm sure this'll be fine. You know, if it closes, it goes. You know, that's kind of what they say. I think that's a military thing. We'll be fine here. Hey guys, welcome back to Tactical Review. And obviously today we are talking about a proper IFAK, and because I know that this is important on any kind of like range belt or duty belt, plate carrier, if you're in a situation where you might need to make holes, you probably need the stuff to patch holes. And I'm fairly clueless about that, so I've got my buddy Maddox here. Maddox just completed his active contract with the Army, and Maddox, why would I have you here? Why don't you
So I'm a 68 whiskey in the Army. I just got out a couple months ago, and I spent about 3 years in 2 different duty stations. And so I got a lot of knowledge about not only the IFAK, but a lot of all the, like most medical equipment that is in your everyday carry or your in your like medical bag.
So yeah, I appreciate Maddox coming on, and what he's gonna do is actually help me stage all of this into the IFAK bag in a way that would make sense if something terrible happened and a medic had to come and patch me up using the contents of this kit, because obviously you don't want them having to do things like unwrap the trauma shears while you're bleeding out. So what I have right here is an IFAK kit from Lightning X Tactical. Yeah, Lightning X Products. This was recommended to me by another medic buddy of mine when I was talking about needing to put together an IFAK. He said he'd ordered from them before. He was really impressed with the fact that, you know, we've got name brand Quick Clot, name brand Hyphen from North American Rescue. This particular kit came with a RATS tourniquet from Ready Man. I had a particular reason for going this way, and keep in mind I do in fact still carry a Cat Gen 7 on my person in my EDC, and I also have a Cat Gen 7 on my belt. If you've seen any recent range videos, you've seen it on there. They do have, Lightning X does have kits that come with cat tourniquets. I think you can get them with the soft T wide. So you have your option of name brand tourniquets, and that will adjust the price of the kit ever so slightly. Obviously things like sterile gauze and prep pads, those don't need to be name brand. But I will drop the link down in the description to this kit that I got off of Amazon. And this is not necessarily an endorsement to regularly buy your life-saving products on Amazon. This just happens to be a vendor that I've been assured by people that I trust that I can trust. So anyway, we've got all of these items here, and then Maddox actually has his military IFAK with him. So we're going to use that as kind of a reference point for how that's laid out, and he's going to help me get my items laid out in here in a way that if stuff really goes sideways, that I'm not going to bleed out while a unit medic is trying to stop me from bleeding. So we're going to rearrange camera, we're going to get in close on the items here on the table, and we're going to walk you through packing your IFAK if you, like me, purchased one and said, I don't know how this all goes together. Alrighty, so before we get into all of this, Maddox, you want to bring your IFAK over, and kind of go through what's in there and how it's laid out for us.
All right, so this is standard issue. I did not steal this. This is tactically acquired. So I got this from my last duty station, and basically everyone gets one of these at CIF, and they're issued. It's like the central issuing something facility for the Army. And take it out of the little holster it has, and you get like this nice little pouch. And you open this up. That really just protects like the top from like water that gets into the IFAK from the top. And then you have two more little flaps right here, and it opens up in opposite directions, and then you have all the innards right here. Now there is supposed to be like a hyphen or like some sort of chest seal and like little things like that. But right now, I mean, those are just, basically the IFAK is just for like bleeding management. So the tourniquet's on the outside for easy access. And then you have like your emergency bandages, your quick clot, your tape, and your gloves right here in the middle. So the main difference between this one and the one that he has is this is just for like emergency bleeding management, quick, like right now, stop the bleeding. While his is more like more broad, like everything. There's a little bit of everything in his, and there's just bleeding in mine.
An IFAK like this is in any form, even with the little bit more that comes with the consumer kit that I have. These are trauma kits.
Right.
These are not a first aid kit, even though it's an individual first aid kit. It's not the first aid kit like it has aspirin and ibuprofen and a bunch of little band-aids in it. So these are trauma kits. It's not a mass trauma kit. It is an individual. Okay, so what we're going to do then is using this kind of as a template, and let's see if we can keep it up here in frame. We are going to try to stage things into this guy. And then I'm using this more as a template because the only thing I don't care for on this kit is that it does have MOLLE, but I would prefer a tearaway base. So with a tearaway, it would MOLLE to my belt or my vest, and then it has a big patch of Velcro, and that way when I'm down, my buddy, my medic, can come over and just tear it off of my kit and have access to it. Open it up and work. I'm going to guess that the tourniquet needs to be one of the last things in, so it can be one of the first things out, or probably stage over here.
Somewhere easy access.
Right, so we'll come back to that. This is a stretch gauze. If it says gauze, I figure we want to leave it in the package so that it stays sterile. So, and that's the thing, is that there will be things that are sealed one-time use items. Let me just flash these through. And these obviously you don't open to stage into your first aid kit. Trauma shears though probably need to come out of the package. The tourniquet will take it out, and then it does have instructions which are going to be useful because neither of us has staged a rat's tourniquet, but we'll show you how to do that when we figure it out. Gloves stay in the package. CPR shields stay in the package. Actually, most of this stuff stays packaged. So, the burn dressing surprises me a little bit. Unless, of course, you're a mostly peaceful protester. So, if you were responding that I had been shot, how would you want this laid out in this?
So, first of all, the way this whole IFAK is set up, it reminds me more of like a med bag than it does the standard IFAK that I was issued, just because of all of the different types of stuff. So when putting it together, you should also keep in mind categories of things that medical equipment is used for.
Okay.
So like the gauze or the surgical sponges right here are like, and the Coban wannabe, whatever this is, be used for like abrasions.
Okay.
This puts pressure on the dressings.
Okay.
So I would keep these together.
Okay. All right.
And you can kind of see where I'm going with this, like extremity, the difference between like there's extremity and then there's like the standard abrasions, you have the chest, you have burns, you have all these different types of stuff, so you can keep it the
Right.
way you want it, and you can also label it with tape to make it even easier for the person that picks it up for you.
Gotcha. So looking at the fact, so our gloves come in this package, and there's no place to stash this package, but I'm going to guess we want to keep them packaged.
You want to keep them packaged, but it doesn't mean you can't kind of conform it to the way you want it.
Gotcha. So maybe fold it in half a little bit, and because I'm thinking, first things I want somebody to have access to are gloves and my TQ, right? So let's figure out how to stage this TQ. 3-finger loop. Oh, look, they've even got a stop on there so that it's already, okay. Form a trucker's hitch. So you're gonna put this around the injured limb. I'm not in frame. We'll put it down here around my wrist. This is not where you put a tourniquet. So you form a trucker's hitch, pull against, wrap, and now here's the deal, and here's what the criticism of the rat's tourniquet is it's narrow. And so when you're pulling, if you do multiple wraps, you're going to spread out the compression and lessen the likelihood for nerve damage. Ooh, we're getting tingly. If you just torque down on this and twist it over itself, you may overcompress the tissue and cause permanent damage. Now, there is a lot to the argument that it's better to lose a limb than lose a life. But anyway, so that said, probably stage it like that, do you think?
What, prepped and ready to go?
Yeah, so all you got to do...
That's what I would do.
I mean, now the problem is in case of an emergency, like where you couldn't slide the limb through, I can see where that would be problematic, but I think that's how I want to prep it. And if you're watching this video later and you are proficient in the use of the rat's tourniquet, feel free to scream at me in the comments that that's not how you prep a rat's tourniquet. But for now, it's what I'm gonna do.
I have no experience with the rat's tourniquet, so Gen 7 all the way.
That's, again, I actually carry a much smaller self-designed IFAK that is small enough to carry in a back pocket or a leg pocket, and the ladies and gentlemen at home know that I typically do carry a Cat Gen 7. I still carry it as my daily. We have a tourniquet staged and gloves staged. You can't tell that those are gloves just looking at it though.
That's where the labeling comes into. It would be a lot easier.
Absolutely.
Every second counts.
And you have actually responded to trauma incidences personally, correct? Not just not training, but you have, yeah. You've seen the grisly insides of human beings.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
Okay, where to next? We got a CPR shield, which really goes with nothing else here, maybe the hyphen?
It would go with the NPA if you have the pharyngeal airway, but you don't have it.
Right.
So that would be together. And I would probably put the NPA through one of these loops.
Okay, and then...
Or one of these.
Okay, and then where would I put the is this safe to fold?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's as long as it's packaged like it's...
Okay, so where in here then, knowing that you would put the airway there, where would you stash this?
Well, doing...
Or should that be nearer the top?
I wouldn't even put... So chest seals, you're probably not going to get... Unless... You're probably just not going to get shot in the chest very often, I would think, compared to everything else.
Right.
So I would probably put that in the back here with the burn. Unless you just live a really dangerous life, then I would probably put it up front near...
I hope not, but I have been... This is 2020, Maddox.
Oh, yeah.
So I can fold this then, and we're going to put that in there like that. Okay. So that leaves us with bandaging items, shears. Now shears are useful, yeah.
They need to be held down. So I'd probably try to put that through like this one over here, this side.
Okay. And shears are something that you might use with about anything in here though.
Right.
Because if you're trying to stop a bleeding situation, you may very likely need to remove clothing. If you're doing CPR, you may need to remove clothing if you've got a defibrillator on the way. So
I can already piece together how this is going to go, and I don't know how we're going to fit this one in. Everything else I can already see where it's...
Yeah, I don't know. And
this is going to be the only problem. How elastic is this?
That is pretty elastic. Underneath the gloves? Maybe the gloves are just meant to throw in on top when it's done so that they're right there.
I don't know how anal you are about gloves.
Well, I can neither confirm nor deny that I have started first aid treatment without gloves and put them on when I determined that there was no life at risk. But my first aid teachers would not want to hear that. Let's slide the gloves in with the tourniquet. Or maybe the tourniquet is supposed to be on the outside. We have pouches on the outside too, Maddox.
Do we?
Well, not pouches, but we have loops.
100% put it on the outside. 100% put it on the outside. It'd be so much easier. You don't even have to open it up if it's extremity then. I mean, that's just how mine
Yeah.
was.
Or hit. Look at here, guys. I bet I know what those are for. Oh, I'm stupid. Actually, I don't know if this is going to work in those.
I definitely won't hold a TQ7. That'd probably be the front.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I need an actual tourniquet pouch here. Like, I'm not confident that this tourniquet is going to stay here if this is on my plate carrier. But it'll look good for LARPing on Instagram.
That's what it's all about nowadays. The follows, man.
Quick clot. Where at? I mean, we've got a CPR shield, which is another thing that I don't know if somebody's life was in danger that I would mess with, but that's maybe wrong of me.
Press gauze on this outer one right here.
Okay. See, like there's a zipper pouch here that I'm worried about putting anything in because it's completely, it's like wasted space, but I'm afraid anything that's in there is going to disappear. And
or people won't find it. I would put something small in there that not really that important for life saving.
CPR face shield. You don't have to have that.
Have to have it.
Most people would prefer it, but
especially nowadays. I put the face shield in there, and I would put at least a couple of those alcohol prep things because even though they're different, like you don't need all of those. Like you can do.
So it's
like a set in there and then a set out.
Maybe some of the additional.
So like an access thing. If it's really going to disappear.
Right. So I guess what I'm thinking is, if at this point they've had access to the tourniquet, they've had access to the gloves, pressure bandages, and I'm laying there and they're like, okay, there's more that we still need to do. What else is in here? There we go. Put these in there with that. There's a lot of, just so much extraneous packaging on like that.
You can always cut that off. Your shears right there.
Yeah, but that's the seal.
On the top right here? Oh.
Yeah, but there's really just not that much. It's literally like most of the extra is where it's vacuum sealed. Quick clot maybe up here too. I don't want it to abrade against the shears though.
Well, what's more likely to get cut by those shears? Actual plastic or paper? I would fold those and put those under here. Fold those in half and then...
In a lot of ways, this is kind of taking the place of your traditional tape because it's self-adhesive. So I don't see, I don't know, maybe one of these loops was meant for that. You know, it'd be great if this card had a layout on the back telling you how to lay it out, but
they appreciate you making the product or purchasing the product though.
So I've got sponges.
I don't know the difference between that and that.
5x9.
Size.
I wonder if
size.
This doesn't seem to have a home. Maybe because I did something else wrong. So its home will be right there. And now it's just the gauze that I don't see a good place to put for it to not get destroyed. I don't know what to, I'm going to stick this stuff back here behind the shears. That's what I'm going to do with it. It seems like it fits.
That's what you said at the beginning of the video.
It is.
If it closes.
If it closes, it goes. But it actually seems kind of.
Yeah, when I was going through training at Fort Sam, our med bags would be literally, you'd have to like sit there and have 2 people close your med bag for you because it was so filled. That was like training, but.
Right. So that's not gonna. That is gonna stay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That'll do it. So. And then.
I think it won't. It will.
And then there's this little closure here that is probably just because the zipper is going to revolt against me right now.
As long as the zipper doesn't break.
All right, and so just like that, it did in fact close.
Hallelujah.
And it looks like a semi-professional
Yeah.
IFAK.
With the handle. Oh, I like this actually. Oh, wow. Yo. This is awesome.
All right, guys. Well, I don't know if that helped you guys out, but it did help me out because I, in fact, have a packed IFAK. Some shortcomings that I see. I've already mentioned that I will be procuring a bag with a tearaway back, but this gives me an idea for what size bag to purchase and how to lay it out when I have it. Also, me personally, a medical cross morale patch, again, something you can pick up on your own. I feel like it might be a good idea to have on it, maybe not, maybe not reflective if you're actually putting this on something you plan to be as duty gear, but
you know, I switch it out too. It's Velcro.
That's true. Any kind of morale patch you want to do. IR glint, an IR glint cross, there you go. If you're like really tactical and got the like quad tube nods. Yeah. I will be adding some duct tape to this. I think that no med kit is complete without duct tape because if you can't fix it, duck it.
Right. There's a lot more compartments and a lot more like things that are unused even if you did have everything. Mm-hmm. There's still so much unused. I mean, you can just purchase like anything else you think that you need on here and it's just you can fit it on there.
Right.
You can 100% fit it on there.
Right.
The thing is it's not full all the way. You can definitely see it has some more give. So you can definitely fit more in there and you had no problem closing it.
Oh no.
Oh.
I mean, the self-adhesive gauze stuff tried to take it just, it tried to go AWOL. That's fine. It did not. I've not lost a man in my command yet. Okay, you as somebody with military combat medical training, except for the nasopharyngeal airway that is supposed to be in here that wasn't, what else did you see that was missing?
Besides that, I mean, there's not really a lot more that you need. Anything that you just use it's emergency first aid. Like it's not for like surgeries or anything. It's not something that you can find in a doctor's office. It's something that, somebody's bleeding out, someone's getting ready to die. So pick that up and just help them out.
Right. The other thing is, though, a second tourniquet, not a bad idea. My research, and you can either back me up or tell me I'm stupid, but if you are trying to shut off blood flow to a lower extremity, there's a lot of meat in the thigh that needs compressed to shut off that femoral artery. It's not uncommon from my research to need 2 tourniquets to get to completely turn off the distal pulse.
That's correct.
Or if, God forbid, you are in a city that's having a mostly peaceful protest, but who knows what could happen that all of a sudden you are in a place that might as well be a war zone. Maybe you are driving down the interstate and you come upon a 20-car pileup. There are multiple reasons that you might need more than 1 tourniquet, and there's room for it, so that's something I will be upgrading this kit with for that reason. 2 is 1, 1 is none, and
And one more thing for the double tourniquet. Another reason to have one is some people are not really the slimmest figures, so
you might have to double up the tourniquet.
Their thighs are probably bigger than normal, so you can double loop and you can have a really, really big tourniquet, or you can also if it's too much, if you put on 1 and it's not enough and you put on 2 and it's too much, if you take if you do the double loop, it gives you more leverage, so you can actually cinch it down a little bit better. And if you didn't have, if you just had one, I mean.
Gotcha. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Maddox, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We will have Maddox back on at least one more video. We'll probably get out to the range with him and stuff too. But guys, I appreciate you guys watching. If you would like to support the channel, the easiest way to do that costs you nothing is to make sure you hit that thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you ring that notification bell so you see when I upload new content. If you'd like to go a step further, you can head over to the Teespring store, pick you up some channel merch, and the channel gets a few dollars of every purchase there. And then finally, if you really want to support the channel directly, you can do that through Patreon or Subscribestar, and those links are going up on your screen right now. That will give you early access to the videos when I get them up, and some behind the scenes access, give you some input into live streams and things like that. If you're not following the channel over on social media, that username is on screen right now, and I am currently over on Facebook and Instagram until they zuck all firearms channels. But guys, I appreciate so much all the support you've shown me over this first year and a half. Don't forget, while I am uploading this in September of 2020, if you can get over there before the 16th, you can subscribe to the 500 subscriber giveaway. That link is also down in the description. And if it's closed, then it's after the 16th of September 2020. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, shoot straight. Stay safe. He drank 68 whiskeys. He was sloshed. Maybe? I don't know. I've never packed a gunshot wound. But I've heard that the human body can hold a lot of t-shirts. Now, if you do the double loop, right, and let's say that I shot myself in the pelvis with my appendix carry and hit my femoral artery back in my pelvic girdle, can I just put that around my waist then? And
absolutely not. Absolutely not. Tourniquets, extremity, that's it. That's all they're good for.
What if I get shot in the head? Can I put it on my neck?
You know, I invite you to do that. Go ahead and try it.